As you may have noticed from the length of this video is not one of my normal videos. It's a video interview of someone who's been through my procrastination program. Now, I'm uploading this video because I suffered with procrastination for many, many years, and whilst that was happening, I really wasn't in the best mental headspace. So now that I help people overcome procrastination, there's been over 100 people in the program, I obviously, for very obvious reasons, want to make people aware that there is something that they can do to help them. And I really value your trust, so I want to be completely transparent about all of this stuff. By uploading this video, and when people enroll in my program, I make money. But that does not mean that this video is a completely selfish video, although it's obvious where it might benefit me. First of all, by watching this video, you're going to understand that no matter how long you've been procrastinating for, or how bad your procrastination habit is, there is still possibility for you to change that habit and to change it in quite a short period of time. This interview is with someone who had a serious case of procrastination, who procrastinated for many years, and who was able to overcome it for the long run pretty quickly. So this video is going to motivate you a lot. Second of all, you're going to learn some really valuable golden nuggets about how you can overcome procrastination, whether you join the program or not. Regardless, I want to help you. So you're going to learn from someone who's overcome procrastination. In fact, two people who've overcome procrastination. Have a conversation about how they did it, and you're going to learn a lot about how you can overcome procrastination by yourself. And third of all, it's going to make you more aware of the procrastination program. And unless you have a completely messed up view on money, you're going to recognize that sometimes investing in yourself is actually a good idea. So by watching this video, you're going to be able to make an informed decision about whether it's right for you or whether it's not. Regardless of whether you decide to join the program or not, either way, I'm here because I love making videos, and I'm here because I seriously want to help you. If you join the program, that's great. You're going to get a whole lot of benefit out of it, and obviously I'm going to earn some money out of it. But whether or not, it doesn't bother me. And if this isn't something that you're interested in, then that's completely fine. Just click off this video. Recognize that this is going to benefit me, and it's also going to benefit lots of people who've been through the program and are getting very, very good results. So either way, watch this video if you want to. Don't watch this video if you want to. It's completely up to you. But I want to be completely transparent because I really value your trust. I will be making money from this, but I'll also be doing a lot of good. Thank you. Hey Callum, how are you?
Yeah, super. How are you going, Andrew?
I'm doing very well. So what I want to start with is it's now been around 3 months since you started the program. So I want to start by going back to then and just wondering about what your life was like, you know, back 3 months ago.
Yeah, so before the program, really, procrastination was just a massive part of my life. It was so obstructive to almost everything I was wanting to do. And it stopped me from doing the things I wanted to do in a way that caused me such grief and anxiety that it was crippling me in ways that you didn't think that just being lazy could. And like I've said in the past, it actually contributed quite significantly to an episode of depression I had about a year ago. And this is a characteristic of behaviour that's sort of been going on quite a lot throughout my whole life, especially my teenage years. And I just got to the point where I was just so sick of feeling under so much pressure and stress all the time and still not getting anywhere, that I just thought like enough was enough. And I worked really hard over the last year to try and change my life around. And then I found your channel, and then I found the program as well. And I felt like starting that and jumping on that was really the biggest catalyst in changing everything for me. Yeah.
So do you have any specific examples of what would happen with the procrastination?
So it was always good intentions. It was always the best of intentions. It was me having the grandest of ideas, of knowing what I would do if I for example, I would have like homework to do, and I go, oh, I'm going to write an essay on like this, and this. Like it's going to be like the best essay ever, and then I just would, I'll start it later. Like I'll do it a bit. I'll try to do like a little bit now. I'll do like a tiny little bit, and it just would stop there. And then it got to the point where I fell so far behind on that goal that the end goal, where I saw that magnificent essay, was just so far off in the future that it was just felt completely unobtainable and unachievable, and I would just give up in a way, and then sort of just let it slide until it got me into like a massive amount of trouble where I really felt under so much pressure because of it, that I couldn't really escape it anymore by just leaving it. Like, I had to front up to it, and it was just a feeling that I was just sick of having, just knowing that it's gotten to the point where I just can't leave it anymore. But despite that, I can't get myself to do what I wanted to do. And that was writing essays, that was going to the gym, that was anything I wanted to do, hang out with friends sometimes was like that. Like, I'm not usually like that, but sometimes you just want to break and I'll do that later, and then 6 months go by all of a sudden, and it was affecting every aspect of my life, academically especially. But yeah, I was just sick of it. I was just sick of being under that pressure all the time, and knowing that I would have the best intention to do something, and in a way I'd have this sort of vague plan in my head, but despite me knowing like what I want to do ish, and me really wanting to do it, just knowing deep down that I'd never actually really get it done, and that was just so frustrating.
Yeah, I remember going back to when I used to have a serious problem. It was always doing everything I could to try and promise myself that this was going to be the time where it would all do well, and then it would crash down, and again and again and again.
I don't know if I ever showed you, but one of the things I tried before I tried your program was, it didn't work, by the way. I had this whiteboard. I don't know if you've seen this. And here you'll notice it's like a little, there's like those charity meters where you mark off like progress.
Yeah.
It's like a little progress bar of 12 weeks, because I read somewhere, maybe it was from you actually, that it was like 12 weeks to form a habit.
Okay.
And I would put like little rewards along the way to try and like motivate me. This is one of the things I was trying to do that was different. And so in a way, I'll do that subconsciously as well before I would, try and reward myself in different ways. Like, okay, if I just do like an hour of study, I'll, spend like 6 hours on YouTube, which was usually the go. And it didn't really work. And I still don't know why, but that's what I was doing. I sort of had this bargaining aspect about it, and it was kind of cheap in a way, like, because I didn't really respect. It's kind of like doing business with someone that has like an unreliable credit score. It's like, if I walk into a bank having defaulted on like 1,000 loans and just went like, I promise you I'll pay back.
Yeah.
Like, the bank would just be like, oh, like, whatever, and that's what it kind of felt like. And it sucked because I couldn't even trust what I was saying. And, it's not really nice to know that how you feel is like, you feel really adamant about something. Like, I really want to do this. And then, like, in the back of your head, just because of experiences, like in your own self, where you just go like, I don't know if you do. And it felt like I couldn't even trust like the one person in the world that you should trust. And it felt like I was unreliable as a person, and reliability is something I take very seriously. And the fact that I couldn't even rely upon myself was just a testament to like how bad it had gotten. Yeah.
And do you remember any advice that people would have given you back then, advice that didn't work?
People always told me, my dad always said to me, like, look, if you're going to get yourself into one of these crap situations, just fess up early, because like people will help you get through it, and that sort of helped you in a way. But in the same way, you didn't really want to share your goals as much, because like I felt, for example, like, oh, I've got, say, this essay due in 3 weeks or something, and like, you know, there's pressure on you to do that. I didn't want that pressure on me, so I would avoid telling people. And if I did, I'm sure there would have been some sort of external pressure on me that would have, you know, compounded and forced me to write. But yeah, I just didn't want that pressure. There was another one was, I guess the similar comparison would be the clarity one, where you sort of plan out the mini steps, step by step. So you sort of start at the end, and then you write down how long you need for each task. That was from my mum, about getting really organised, and I never really got around to actually doing that planning, and I couldn't figure out why. It's funny enough, because both of which great pieces of advice, and you used them in your program, and the planning and the accountability aspect, but them on their own wasn't enough, because it was sort of just dealing with the symptoms of it rather than actually like removing the cause, like the program did for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. We either get given piece of individual advice, which is okay, but it's either difficult to apply it, or you see it in isolation and don't see how it fits into the full system.
And when I take a step back, you realise actually that's actually a really effective technique, but it was just missing like this one aspect, and that one aspect was removing that addiction I had with doing anything else, you know, anything but. And it seems so obvious when, like, now that like I get to that situation, but at the time it was just like, what am I doing? Like, I would, you know, spend, I've got to do it this week, or something starts this week, and then all of a sudden be Friday. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? So yeah, it was really frustrating to have those little bits of wisdom hanging over me, but not knowing how to access them. And, you know, once you remove that, it was sort of, it's like kind of like you're having like a ladder to reach those techniques, and that's what I was missing, was that one step I needed to implement them. And once I did, I just found it was just so much better. It was so much better. Yeah.
Perfect. And do you remember how you first heard about the program?
Yeah, it was on your YouTube channel. So what happened was last year I was in hospital from that episode of depression, and coming out of hospital, I was determined to like turn my life around. And I came across your channel. It was originally the stoicism aspect of it, you know, the clarity of mind, the being present, to remove a lot of the self, like the thoughts of not trusting myself. And then after watching your channel for months, I think it must have been a video where you just said, oh, by the way, my procrastination video is opening up. I was just obsessed with self-improvement. I'd done other courses in various other topics, and when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I'll give this a go. You know, this is something that, you know, could really, really help me. Getting back into uni, I could see it really paying off, being like a real investment that will return itself in spades. And I just thought, bugger it, why not? I just sort of signed up quite on a whim, and I'm so glad I did. Like, it was just so random. I still don't really know, like, it's not something I went looking for, which was the weirdest thing. I think I've told you this before, but like, it's not something I went looking for. It's just sort of found me, and I don't know where I'd be if it didn't, you know. God bless the YouTube algorithms, I guess is the way it goes. Yeah,
You're the
that thing's
first
pretty
person.
good.
You're the first person that's not complaining about the YouTube algorithm, and he's
Oh,
actually
like
thanking it.
it for what it does. It is brilliant. It, yeah. So yeah, I think I'd seen one of your videos in the past, and sort of ignored it, and then I think it was when you released that 28 days of Marcus Aurelius's morning routine or whatever, morning and night routine, that I really started paying attention, and I watched all the videos, that backtracked that, and then I started watching regularly ever since. And then from that point on, it was just like I was like addicted to your channel because because it felt like it was just sort of speaking my language in a way. It was just felt good to have someone who I just related to so much because, you know, you've been there, and I could sort of tell that, and you were on that, like that desperate journey just to turn your life around and make the most of every second that you have, and I just sort of respected that. And then, yeah, just out of nowhere, I saw that you did this program. I thought, well, I like what he does so far, so see how it goes. And it was awesome. It was honestly the best investment of my life because I can just see it returning itself a million times over. It was just unbelievable how innocuous it was. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't really go looking for it. It was just it just sort of crept up on me. Yeah, I don't know how it found me, to be honest.
Okay, and going to week 2, do you remember which of the root causes were your root causes?
I think it was like all of them. It was like all but one. It was. I've got my little notebook here. Oh, that's not my notebook. Here's my notebook. Week 2. I wrote them down in order of which ones applied to me, and I wrote them down in order of how, like, severity. So number 1 was instant gratification addiction. Number 2 was distraction. Number 3 was a lack of clarity. Number 4 was urgency. Number 5 was fear of outcome, and number 5 was perfectionism. Number 6 was fear of outcome, and they've all affected me in one way or another in the past. Like I wouldn't start something because I knew it wouldn't be perfect, or you know, I wouldn't go to the gym because I'd be feared that, like, oh, you know, he's this skinny kid who can't like lift much. So like that's those two sort of, but like the instant gratification, that was daily and crippling, and the distraction was sitting myself down and just not being able to sit. Like I'd go up and get an apple, or like I would have a shower and have like 3 showers a day or something, just to like, because I kept on getting distracted while I'm studying. So yeah, they all affected me quite a lot. And just through the program, I just removed. Well, week 2 was brilliant. It was sort of like the marquee week of the program, because just removing them was 95. Because I already knew what to do if I could just get that step. But this was week 2 was the step that I needed. So yeah, I think I've looked over week 2's notes like 100 times. So yeah, but it was definitely instant gratification, distraction, lack of clarity, lack of urgency, and then like perfectionism, fear of outcome. But yeah, it's crazy to think how addicted I was to YouTube now I think about it. Yeah, I think I would spend like easily like 4 hours a day or something on it. You're a gamer. I was never really a gamer because I knew the dangers of that before I got addicted to it. But yeah, YouTube, doing anything else, sport. Like I love watching sport. I'd watch every sport under the sun. Like I'd watch baseball all season, or I'd watch football. I'd watch like the EPL. I'd watch rugby. I'd watch cricket, and like I was watching that so much that I'd never do anything. Yeah, so instant gratification was one that was crippling in a way because it meant that I just didn't, because I was the one that was taking everything away from me in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think our connection is a bit shit. Yeah.
Okay. So your video's just frozen. I don't know if that was anything you did or whether it's the connection or something.
Yeah, it did say connection, so.
So I guess we should end the call and I'll call you back in a second. Oh wait,
Yeah,
you're back.
no
Don't
worries.
worry, you're back. Sorry.
Oh, yeah?
So what was it like?
Do you want me to repeat that question?
No. That'll be completely fine. I'll either just leave that in because it's raw, or I'll just do a little cut in the middle of the video. But
Yeah.
what was it like as you were going through the program?
It was kind of like getting this manual on how to like fix your life. And I remember just because I was doing uni concurrently with the program.
Yeah.
The way it was set up, it just felt like a class. It felt like it was something I was so familiar with. And I remember going through it like it was, I think I've told you this as well, it was content that had to be learned rather than like, yeah, I don't know, it felt like I was learning the content and practicing the content, just like I was practicing like my accounting or finance or whatever. I felt like it felt like a skill, and just like why I had never succeeded at basketball or something, I hadn't succeeded at procrastination because I don't play a lot of basketball, and also I don't practice this time management skill as much. And I felt like if I had learned it and did this meta learning and then practiced it, I would improve. And I found that as I went through, I improved out of sight. It was incredible at how quickly I turned it around. Because starter semesters are always good for me. And I was just waiting for, when's it going to drop off? It usually drops off like the third week or something. And it just didn't. As the weeks kept on going through the procrastination program, I kept working harder. The grades spoke for themselves. It's going through these notes. I just remember writing them and feeling like I just felt like for the first time in my life, I not only knew that I had the skills to do what I wanted to do, but it also felt like I finally had discipline and application. I think I've told you in the past that like back when I was terrible with procrastination, I would like beg, like I just wish I had discipline. And it wasn't discipline that I needed. It was I don't know, what would you say the opposite of procrastination is? It was effective use of my time. And when I finally got it, for the first time it felt like I finally got it. And when I finally got it, I just felt like liberated. Like I'd just taken these chains off me, where I was just finally free from my own hellhole that I put myself in because of being lazy. And it just gave me so much optimism going through the program, knowing that I could do whatever I wanted, because finally it felt like I really wanted it, because I could trust myself when I said I want to do this, which wasn't the case before at all. Yeah.
And what about your accountability partner?
Mikkel. That was great, especially in the early stages of the program. He was definitely the most active one of the group. And it goes back to that advice that my dad gave me. It puts this external pressure on you, and as much as you can motivate yourself to do something, sometimes you just need bit of shame and guilt to pressure you into doing it. And Mikel was great because I would message him and I'd be like, "Hey man, I heard you want to read a lot this week. You want to meditate. You're starting classes." And he would tell me, "Oh yeah, I didn't do as much as I could. But I did this and this and this and this." And I'd be like, "Shit, like I really need to up my game." And it was kind of like this competitive, like friendly, like competitive, like, oh well, yeah, you're doing awesome, but like I'm doing better, like, and it was sort of like we would push each other, and especially in the early parts of the program where where I was really, really worried, and I imagine most people would be worried, especially before they start the program, is they'll be really worried that they'll just slip back. And I was seriously worried that like this is just going to be like everything else in my life, where like it starts off good, it starts off fine, it starts off with all the right motivations and intentions, but it's just going to slip back. And the accountability partner motivated me through that, and as well as the program itself, which really helped in not only, you know, helping me through other things, but also helped me through the program as well. It felt like through the rockiest stages of the program, it was like the training wheels that I sort of needed just to sort of keep balance. And yeah, it was really good to have him, especially him of all accountability partners. I think when I interviewed you, you're like, "I know just the guy," and yeah, you're right, yeah, just the guy. So yeah, it was really cool to have him. I don't know if I had the same profound effect on him as he did on me, but yeah, it was just good to have that kind of like in like a brotherly sense, just to like, you know, trying to flex your muscles on, you know, you're doing good, no, I'm doing good. So yeah, it was really cool to have that actually, because it made it fun, it made it interesting, it made it personal, it kind of shamed you in a way to get your act together, and that's what I really liked. So I was really, really happy about that part of the program. Yeah.
Okay, and what singular concept from the program do you think has been the most impactful to put you under pressure?
The one, yeah, that's this page now. The vision goals. You know, the vision goals, the yearly goals, the quarterly goals, daily, weekly, monthly goals. Yeah, that's a close second. Oh, there's so much to say. Week 2, definitely awesome, but I'd have to say the keystone ones. Planning tomorrow today, and mostly planning tomorrow today, and reading the manifesto of life. I guess that comes under the vision goal sort of aspect as well. Yeah, but having goals, reverse engineering your goals, and having the plan. It's just something that if I don't do, when I'm at my worst, like I still slip back into it. I have off days, you know. I can't be doing this too much. I'll be burning myself out. But yeah, like the calendar on my phone. Yeah, planning and putting stuff into that. So the planning of tomorrow today, which is what you say is the keystone, or I think it's like the first thing we cover in the program. Looking back on it, it's the test of whether I will have a productive day or not. Even like some days I wake up, and because I work late, I forget to plan. I actually forgot to plan tomorrow. I forget to plan the next day, and I go like, today's not going to be a good day because I've got to plan. So I get up and I plan it, and then all of a sudden it is a good day. And then the ones that I don't get around to planning, they're the ones where like, I didn't do that much today. It took me like an hour to get started studying, but it was all right once I started studying. But like, yeah, that's the key test of whether today would be a good day and today would be not. And you had this thing like the last in the last module, where we went through the procrastination doctor or something.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it was. Yeah, and the first one was like, question one was like, visiting the doctor. That's right. Are you doing your keystone habits? Number 7. Yeah, that was, I reckon 99% of the time, if I'm not doing them, that's the reason why. Like, if I'm having an unproductive day, it's because like I'm not doing that. And I find if I am doing that, I'm just killing it. So definitely keystone habits is probably the gem out of gems, the gem of gems. Yeah. But I honestly could say so much. It's something I reflect on because, it's like learning any skill. There's important bits, but it all matters. There's definitely like an 80-20 rule, I think, in this one. Like 20% of the program is just the vision, the keystone habits. Yeah, it's probably them. Yeah, the keystone habits. 20% of what we cover, but I reckon it's definitely 80% of the results. But there's just so much in here that just helps me, and it's helped friends as well. Like I've been talking to other friends who've been struggling as well, and they said like, dude, like you give the best advice ever. I'm like, oh yeah, it's totally my advice. Yeah, there's just so much in here that you can just learn more from, and I think once I get the keystone habits down packed, and I think, oh, how else do I evolve again? Like, how do I evolve again? I'll just be finding stuff in here that I'll just be like, oh, this is brilliant. So, yeah, there's so much in here that really I could really say, but definitely keystone habits.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier that you didn't know what your future would look like if you hadn't heard about the program. How do you feel about the future now?
I always had this arrogant perception of myself, where I knew that I could like do anything, like anything I wanted to do, because I felt like I had all the skills necessary, but lacked the discipline. And because I lacked the discipline, I felt like I can do anything I want, but there'd just be this little voice in the back of my head that would be like, well, nah, not really. And I'd be like, oh yeah, you're right. But now I think I can do anything I want. And then the voice in the back of my head's still there, but now it's saying like, yeah, and this is how we're going to do it. And it's so empowering, and it feels so fantastic to have that internal support for once in my life, where I trust what I say, and like I know that if I say something, I mean it, because I don't make promises anymore that I don't mean to keep. And it actually means like I'm promising myself less. I'm still promising myself a lot, but I'm promising myself less than what I did in the past. But for now, I'm achieving so much more. And although I am promising myself less, I'm sticking to all of it rather than promising myself everything and sticking to none of it. And it's liberating to know that for once, I just feel like I can take myself seriously. And like my future it could be anything now. It really could be anything. It's just a matter of choosing what I want to do. And that's so exciting. That is so exciting. I'm sure you felt it as well. Like you just like, once you sorted yourself out, you were just like, what do I do? Because, this is before me. Like you were at studying uni, you probably thought like I could go to like the very top of professional tree if I wanted to, or I could explore this YouTube channel. And it probably would have been a tough decision for you. And I think I've got those tough decisions lying ahead of me in the future, because I finally feel free enough from the crap that I put myself through in the past that it would actually support me to achieve all those things.
Does it kind of feel like before your brain was working against you and now it's working for you?
Yeah, it does. It felt like I imagine it kind of like it's like having this partner, you know. It's having this, yeah, it's like having a gym buddy. If it used to be like this fat, lazy, whiny thing that used to, I don't want to go to the gym today. Oh, I don't want to do it. I'm too tired. Like, oh, can we just do this instead? But now it's like the one that's like waking you up, ready to go. It's the one. It's the brain that, like, my brain's like, come on, let's do this. We can do this. Like, we're doing it now because we said so, and this is how we're going to do it. And that applies to everything. And it just feels like I've got, I don't know, it's kind of like you've got these two brains. One that's like your conscious and one's your subconscious. And it feels like they're on the same page. And if my conscious brain is like, I don't feel like it today, in the past where my subconscious brain would have been like, yeah, I agree, let's do this. My subconscious brain's like, well, what are we going to do instead? It's, you know, this is what we're doing. And it's kind of like, it's where I default now. I default into what I want to do rather than what I would do on autopilot, which is a concept you've spoken about a lot. It's the autopilot. And having that autopilot go in the right direction is really helpful, really helpful. So yeah, it is kind of like my brain's working with me now, working for me, than against me. Yeah.
Do you think that autopilot would have stopped you from recording this video at 1:30 a.m. in the morning before?
Oh, absolutely. I would have just messaged you on Facebook and it's been like, yeah, just can't today. Too hard. It's like 1:30, give me a break. But yeah, absolutely. Like, I woke up and I was just like, oh man, this sucks. This really sucks. But there wasn't even the urge to go back to sleep. Where in the past, I know, like, if I had to get up for anything, it was a struggle. Like, not because I didn't like want to do it. It's just because my brain was so addicted to the instant gratification of dopamine in the now that all it would have wanted to do was sleep. And because I've sort of done this ketosis in a way of dopamine in my brain, it's now striving off, feeds off the longer time frame dopamine, and it means that I make a lot of good decisions now, which I'm really happy with. And I'm not such a lazy, maybe being hard on myself, but I'm not such a screw it. I'm not such a lazy slob. It's good to feel like an active. It feels good to feel active and productive, and where, like, I don't know, I don't feel like a kid anymore. Yeah.
So personally, it's been great. I remember a few months ago when we had our first call, and there's nothing more fulfilling for me to speak to you then and then speak to you now. So I wanted to say a thank you to you for those words in that interview. That's always nice for me to hear, and it's definitely encouragement for me to keep going. But the final question would be, if you had to say one piece of advice to someone who is in your situation a few months ago, what would you say to them?
If they're tossing up about doing your program or not, do it. Looking at anyone like, do it. But if assuming that your program didn't exist, I'd probably tell them, know what you want, think about what you really, really want, find out how to get there, and then draw up the plan of how you're going to get there. Yeah, that'd probably be it. I'd say, yeah. Know what you want, know what you really, really want, figure out how you get there, and then draw up the plan and the schedule. Not draw up the plan, sorry, don't draw up the plan. Draw up the schedule on how you get there, and then stick to it. But also include breaks, because they're a last. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. We'll
No worries.
end the Q&A call there. Seriously though,
Yep.
that was so nice. It feels like you're a different person now. Genuinely,
Thank
speaking
you.
with you, it's like I'm speaking with a different person.
I feel like a different person. I think I've evolved. You know, I feel like a Pokemon. You know, just I was like a little Bulbasaur, and now I'm an Ivysaur. I think you know, I'm 50% of the way there. I've still got to level up. I've still got to, and I am leveling up. But I'm really excited to see what the next evolution stage holds out. Like I know you're doing the relentless pursuit, you know, and you were doing that for a couple of months. I remember you talking about the Kobe Bryant thing a couple of months ago. Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. You know, I don't want to burn myself out, but I'm definitely maybe next year or something, or you know, in a couple of months, I could be now looking to try that relentless pursuit. But yeah, it's really exciting to see how much I've improved personally since I've gone on my personal development venture in such a short amount of time. And then I think, you know, well, if that's what I can do in 6 months, 8 months, yeah, 8 months. If I can do that well in 8 months, how well can I do in a year, 5 years? If like in 5 years, I'll still be considered super, super young. And I'm just wondering the person I'll be then. And I think I'll be, I don't know where I'll be, but I'll be a better person than I am now, hopefully. And that's definitely going in the right direction, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Is there anything you want to talk about, or any questions you have for me, or should we just end it there?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Would you mind if we included that final conversation in the actual video? That Pokemon reference is too good to cut out.
Yeah, no worries. Go for it. You know, you're more or less paying me to do this. So this is your program. This is your baby. I'm just the beneficiary of that. And to be honest, it's the very, very least I could do if you just use me as marketing material to.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll keep in touch. I'm excited to see who you become, and we'll make sure that we keep in touch, either through the group or just personally. But I'll reach out to you in a few months and see what's going on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Andrew. It's been a wild ride so far.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the interview, and I'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.